As someone who doesn't know this person, I will make fun of them for as long as you want me to.
He is a very comical individual.
Yeah.
Like, unintentionally comical, just in the things that he does. Like, he's just a person who...
People like that.
He's a person who goes about, like, day-to-day actions in very peculiar, head-scratching ways.
Mm-hmm.
Like, even about, like, the most, like, simple things, like, he'll do in a manner that it's like...
Huh?
What is your thought process, good sir?
Yeah.
Marching to the beat of his own drum, basically.
Yep.
His own tom-tom.
Yeah, he's a running joke throughout the entire store. No
one else has to know.
Well, isn't that hopeful thinking? Assuming coworkers are watching the show.
User reads
ALPHANUMERIC.
Good evening, and welcome back to ALPHANUMERIC, the weekly podcast where we review every episode of the 90s cartoon ReBoot ever in order, starting from the beginning. I'm one of your hosts, Christopher Siege, and this week we have a special guest, our number one listener.
Hi. I'm Alakar. Alakar Leorakar. I commend you guys on trying to pronounce that last name. Don't worry about it. Just call me Alakar. My real name is also Christopher, but we're just going to go by Alakar to avoid confusion. Thanks for having me on.
Alakar it is. Thanks for being here.
Absolutely.
That's Mr. Christopher to you. Also, hi, I'm NeoCal. I'm here too.
And I'm AP Snidler, and I'm also here as well.
Don't sound too sad about it.
I'm sorry.
Replacing Snidler.
Fun fact, I have to pay him to be on this show, guys.
Act like you're being paid.
Yeah, damn it. I want my money's worth. And this week on ALPHANUMERIC, we are reviewing the 9th episode of ReBoot, Wizards, Warriors, and a Word from Our Sponsor, which originally aired on Christmas Eve in 1994 in Canada and on February 25th, 1995 in the United States, which I believe is where our guest host, Alakar, is from, yes?
Yes, I live in Tennessee. Big fan of the show ever since I was a kid, and I watched it when it came out in the States when I could. ABC was notorious about shuffling that show around and making it difficult to follow regularly.
Mm-hmm.
But whenever I could catch it, I would.
I always love the fact that this show itself will frequently took jabs at ABC in the first couple of seasons.
Mm-hmm. Anytime I could.
How did you, if you remember anyway, how did you originally discover the show?
Gosh, it was long ago. I'm an old man now, so it's a little foggy. But I think I remember catching a few episodes of season 2 when it was more prominently featured, part of their Saturday morning lineup and part of their cartoon block in the afternoons. But I couldn't really follow too much of it. Again, it was spotty and it was kind of in the shuffle. But I really started following it much more closely when it came over to Cartoon Network, and they showed it as part of Toonami.
It was on Cartoon Network?
Yeah, they got the license to show it, and it was shown regularly as part of the Toonami block, especially when the 3rd season was premiering, and it was getting... I followed it every week. It was great.
Did they manage to air it in some sort of order?
I think so, because it was Cartoon Network, and they have their heads screwed on right, so they probably watched the show and was like, wait a minute, it's out of order. Let's get this right. So, but yeah, I was able to catch up with the show, and I've been, really fondly in love with it ever since. And I think season 4 premiered on Cartoon Network, because ABC couldn't be bothered. But
Their loss. Their loss.
Yeah.
exactly.
I like
Yeah,
how
that-
you're like, I'm an old man now and I can't remember, and he's younger than everyone here.
Hey,
I was gonna
it's all
say
about that
that.
mental attitude, you know.
You're as old as you feel, and I feel 79. God damn it.
Yes, I will be in a little over a month here. I will be 36 years old.
Whoa.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Basically middle age.
Yeah, basically. Okay, so I actually have a coworker, and this actually kind of annoys me.
That you have
But
a coworker? This is
I-
name Aiden?
I feel
Yes,
that.
yes, a coworker named
Yeah.
Aiden. I have a coworker that annoys me. That's
Alright.
energy that the entire world can relate
That's-
with. No, I have a coworker who is a Gen Zer. He's a cool guy. He's a big movie dude. So he and him chat about film and whatnot all the time. But he's in his early 20s and he
Gen
keeps
Zer.
referring to me as middle-aged. And I'm like,
No,
I'm like, no, I'm not
Wow.
middle-aged. He's
Wow.
like, yeah, middle-aged is 35 and above. And I'm like,
Mm.
I actually looked this up and it's no, middle-aged
No.
is 49 and above.
Yeah.
Thank you, child, for telling
Yeah.
me
Are
how
there a
old
lot
I
of
am.
people
but-
that live to 100?
Imagine
I feel
that
like he's closer
someone who's
to what.
younger than you is wrong.
Those damn kids. Dang nammit.
Hey man, when you're 19, 35 feels like if you haven't
That's
done
true.
everything you're gonna do, you might as well be dead.
Well, yes, I used to think that way. But look at me now.
but look at me now.
Now I don't know what to think.
They all
But
laughed
yeah.
at me. They all laughed.
Anyway.
The kids, they called me Mr. Glass.
all right.
I don't know where that came from.
No.
So we're talking about the
Wizards.
reboot.
Yes. This is one of my personal favorite episodes of the season.
Oh, it's a great
Yeah,
episode.
I wonder why it's so many people's favorites. I guess we'll find out. I, as a kid, I remember, I don't know why, I was that annoying kid. I just loved Mike the TV. I did impressions of him all the time. My cousins loved it.
Love Mike the TV.
99, 99, 99. Yeah, me too.
You know who's not cool as an adult? Mike the TV.
No.
No. Rewatching this was like watching my dreams get stomped on. I was like,
Serious?
Well,
I
I
still
was
love
like, is
Mike
this
the
just
TV.
me or is this not as great as I remember?
It's
I-
just you.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
I love Mike.
I love Mike, but I also get where you're coming from. I think it's more
Yeah.
that you're sympathizing more with Bob now that you're rewatching this.
Focusing on.
I
And you're like,
sympathize with Dot and no one else.
What, really?
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
I know.
Oh.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
We can discuss this.
Yeah.
Because I think that's very relatable.
Oh, okay. Yeah, instead of progressing with the rundown
Bob's
of the show,
apartment,
yeah, we can
ladies and
kind of
gentlemen.
talk that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Alucard was saying that he gets that. It's like a different.
Yeah.
You're a completely different person when you're 10 versus when you're 30.
I should
Absolutely.
hope
I should
Absolutely.
hope so.
so.
And for some reason, this episode,
Everyone loves Mike the
Like-
TV.
it's weird. When I was a kid, this was like my favorite episode of anything. I was like, oh, it's like D&D, and it's
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
one of
yeah.
those like scrolling like dungeon adventures, and they need to go down all the because I used to play those like point and click, like dungeon scrollers where you move like one block at a time and make like right turns
Yeah. I
or
mean,
90-degree turns. Yeah,
I did too. Absolutely. I same perspective. It's like, oh, they're in a D&D game, but they're the computer, and it was so exciting when you're a kid. You're like, oh my gosh, and now it's like, that's nice. Isn't that nice?
isn't
Look at
that nice?
Yeah.
This is cute. But
Yeah.
it's really the episode's really about Mike.
You
So-
understand the lessons more too when you're
Yeah.
an adult. Like the lesson here is to not judge people, to not be so
Absolutely.
quick to judge.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That everyone has something that they can bring to the table. Even if it's explicitly stated, in a game where you're a party member in a team that you have to bring what you have to the table.
Yeah, the there's, I guess we can talk about like the ending more like later on, but there's a part where Dot is like, oh, so it turns out we had to work together all along. And I'm like, when did you find that out?
Yeah,
the last
like-
level?
But again, 10-year-olds target audience. It's like,
Exactly.
okay,
But the thing is, I don't remember that lesson as a kid. As a 10-year-old, I was like, yeah, Mike, the TV's a barbarian.
Well, I mean, that's why you have something that you can appreciate later on in life. And, I like the fact that Mike strikes a very delicate balance. It's a tightrope between being annoying and funny.
Yeah.
Whereas he's very annoying to the cast, to Bob, Dot, and Enzo, but you like him for the most part. And I mean, he can go on a little bit, but it doesn't stop the plot from going. It rarely ever does a cul-de-sac where we're focusing on just Mike doing his
That's a good
shtick.
point. Yeah.
So
good side character that adds things to a scene.
Absolutely.
But you don't actually just want to follow him on an adventure.
Yeah, for sure.
And he's got a really cool apartment building. There's some moving parts. Not sure what's going on. And
Pretty sweet.
Bob's hiding behind his couch.
Very cool couch, I must say.
Oh.
That pattern on his couch. It's like a seeing eye picture.
Yeah.
It's very cool.
Oh, I was wondering. You know what? I've never been able to do those. Like the hidden magic
Me
eye
neither.
like pictures. Not even
neither.
once in my entire life.
Never.
Never understood it.
Supposed to like look at him close and then slowly pull it back. And
it's never worked for me.
It's very it's magic. If you don't got it, you don't got it.
Have you ever been able to do that?
Yeah, I have. Yeah,
Oh.
it was kind of cool.
Oh, cool. A sailboat.
Yeah, exactly. It's a fish. Yeah.
It's not you dumb bastard. It's not a schooner. It's a sailboat. Little Mallrats reference there for anyone who didn't get it.
I did.
You dumb bastard.
Yeah, I like how Ethan Suplee says that to like this 10-year-old kid. Haha, you dumb bastard.
Okay.
Sorry,
Seeing eye couch.
The seeing eye couch. Bob's not alone.
Sailboat couch.
Yeah. He's not alone. He shushes Dot, who's there, and tells her to go away.
And Enzo, yeah. Like,
and Enzo's there, yeah.
You'll give away my hiding place.
What is it, dragons? And it is like a seeing eye. Wow, that's hard to look at.
Oh yeah,
it is actually dragons.
Very 90s.
Yeah,
it is dragons.
Yeah,
I'm imagining dragons. I really don't want that couch. It's like a reimagining of like a 70s upholster.
It would be a subtle way for me to tell my guests to go away.
That's a good point, actually.
Yeah.
It's like, why don't you come into the lounge?
Yeah.
Oh, it feels like I'm sitting on rocks.
Try and
Maybe
relax. Just give it a try.
Give it the old maximal try.
Let me just go and turn on the fluorescent lights right beside you. God. Yeah, and they're like, what is it, viral binomes? And they're like, get down, you're going to blow my trouble. Blow my trouble? Blow my cover.
What?
I don't know.
We're coming up with a lot of new catchphrases.
Brain works in mysterious ways. And then the monster that he was hiding from comes, and I like how they all scream, but it's just Mike the TV, and he's just like calmly walking up to them.
Yeah. He's just like, no, is it a megabyte, hexadecimal? He's like, no, it's much worse. It's coming, and then they all start screaming, and it's just a TV just walking, not even saying anything.
No,
he's just like. Hey,
like, what's up, guys?
And then he immediately jumps into an ad because he's a TV.
Yeah.
I would also like to point out that this TV that they're vehemently afraid of is a TV that was first introduced 4 episodes ago as just a voiceless character who was randomly hanging out in Bob's apartment while he was like passed out drunk.
It gave him like a sex ad.
Yeah,
Yeah. And he threw it in the garbage.
I think they were still formulating what they wanted to do with Mike the TV at that point.
But it was such a strange introduction for a character though, because like he was literally just like there in one shot in a montage where Bob's like really bored.
Yeah, and I if you don't, I was listening to an interview with Michael Donovan, the voice actor behind Mike the TV, and several other characters, and he talked about how when they were recording or filming, the making the show basically, he recorded auditions for several characters, and he was doing Mike the TV, and they thought it was interesting. He came in, and they're like, "We don't want you for Mike the TV. We want you for Fong." And he hadn't recorded for Fong or prepared for Fong, and they went with him for Fong, but they were also like, "Could you do Mike the TV?" And he's like, "Sure, yeah." And he did the actual ad that he's about to do for this episode. He was just kind of riffing, like Robin Williams style. And they were cracking up in the recording booth so much that that's really where they came up with the character.
That's brilliant.
At that time. So I think they hadn't fully decided on what to do with Mike in the previous episode, but it's recording the show like this. You're not really recording everything in order. You know what I mean? So it's kind of up in the air. But yeah, I mean, he just won them over with this ad pitch, and they threw
this
it in.
Was the ad pitch?
Yeah, the slices, dices, it cuts, copies, formats, makes julienne fries, all that kind of stuff. That's what sold him, and how he got Mike the TV. He did the whole 99 thing, and it worked, and it does work. It still works. Great introduction to the character, even though we've already seen him.
That's genius. I had no idea. Wow, that's cool.
Yeah.
I could Google it, but I don't want to. And to this day, I still don't know what julienne fries are.
Well, julienne fries.
They're just like the really thin fries, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
They're like French fries.
It's just how you cut the fries. They're shoestring.
Yeah.
Like I like them on burgers.
Eat it like Steak and Shake.
Almost like McDonald's style.
Burgers.
Okay. Ew, McDonald's style.
I don't normally like julienne fries because they're so small, so thin.
Yeah.
It's not really French fries. It's the idea, the concept, the essence of French fries, but not really quite getting there. But yeah.
I stock shelves with frozen French fries, so I'm familiar with the at least the term julienne fries.
Yeah.
It's just a style of cutting.
I used to julienne stuff when I worked in a vegetable processing plant. Yeah.
So, so they yell at Mike the TV.
Bob
and Enzo says, he says for the 128th time, like, stop. So how nice of him to be counting.
and
Enzo 99, 99, 99.
Yeah.
Which I would like to point out is a thing that both me and my partner, quite independently from one another, but it's a thing that both me and my partner will quite often reference, even to this day.
Whenever something ends with multiple nines.
Yeah.
I mean, it sticks in your head.
It's shockingly memorable.
Oh yeah.
What's kind of knee slapper about this is that 128 is a power of 2 to calculate bytes.
Yes.
Used calculating bytes. So really, he only told him twice to stop, and I think that's kind of hilarious because Bob. Yeah,
that's fun.
Yeah,
I think he's being hyperbolic, but because he's in a computer, it's 2 times. That's a lot.
So it's Mike for the second time. I'm begging you.
Trying to Control-Delete a program twice and it hasn't closed.
Oh
yes.
And task didn't work on Mike.
Yeah. Then Enzo comes up with a bright idea.
He's
like,
turn him off with his remote.
Turn him off. He's like, I can't. His remote control ran away. Which I get. I get it. You know, I would too.
Well, and even Dot is like, can you
blame it? Yeah.
I mean, Bob threw him away.
Oh,
He's like the cat that came back.
Not even technically. He quite literally did. Like, he threw him in the trash.
But he's like Pepe Le Pew. He doesn't go away. He comes back, finds a way, come back. Cartoon style.
Well, the cat that came back is another Canadian like animation. Like a folk song.
Yeah.
The cat came back. I don't know if it would have ever been on TV where you were from. We'll link it.
It was sung in my school. It was part of
real?
the choir. Yeah, it was part of like the folk songs we used to learn when we were kids.
Oh,
was Fred Penner a thing down in the States?
No, that did not cross over.
Yeah,
but the cat came back. Yeah, for sure.
Cool.
I don't know if it was originally a Fred Penner song, but Fred Penner did a very at least in Canada, he did a very famous version of the Cat Came Back song back in the late 80s, I think. Late 80s, early 90s.
He might have.
Yeah. But, Harry S. Miller is the original author of The Cat Came Back.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And it was published in, hang on a sec, 1893.
Oh, wow.
Whoa.
Yeah.
And then The Cat Came Back was done by Fred Penner. It was a little animated thing, and it was done in 1988.
Okay.
Okay.
Kind of resurged, I guess. That way. Okay.
Interesting.
Perfect.
Oh man, I love the bucket commercial. I wanted a bucket when I was a kid.
It shows a button and he's looking into it, and he's like, it's absolutely nothing.
Exactly as advertised.
I feel that free for only $99 thing, because it's like, if you call now, you get this for free. All you pay is shipping and handling. Shipping and handling is $149.99, and you're like, whoa, hold up.
That's a deal. I mean,
it's a steal.
I could be paying twice that much.
You could be. Technically, they weren't lying. And that's how your aunt buys a Miracle Blade.
But then, you get it, and then you're like, it doesn't work. I want a refund, and they're like, I can't refund nothing. Sorry.
You got it for free, so there's nothing we could do.
Yeah, that's how they get
free
you.
For only $99.
I like how Bob is like, that's it, you're getting dismantled, and he just turns Glitch into a screwdriver. I feel like that's an odd use of Glitch's powers to be turned into such a simple tool.
I don't know. I think Glitch can be whatever it needs to be, whatever it wants to be.
There are
because it's a glitch.
There are less creative uses and more creative uses for Glitch throughout the show.
I like that it's the screwdriver, not like a bazooka.
Yeah.
Not like something to explode him. He's just gonna slowly unscrew him.
Take him apart piece by piece painfully. I can imagine it'd be painful.
Yeah, it's pretty dark, really.
For you.
Taking you apart.
Yeah.
Dismember a TV.
When your Dark Knight Rises reference doesn't get through.
Yeah,
feels
it.
bad, man. Feels bad.
It was got, but Bob is interrupted.
I was gonna make a comment about I'm whatever mainframe needs me to be, but the moment passed.
The Blue Knight.
Yeah, it's gone. The Blue Knight.
The black and gold knight.
Yeah. That's what color he is, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
And
those are the colors of the Guardian icon.
That's true.
Oh, true.
Yeah.
Mike the TV hides behind Dot. And then before any conflict happens, something happens.
Hello?
Hello?
Oh,
you
sorry.
cut out.
Somebody
God.
cut out.
Yeah, sorry.
Look up at the sky.
Mike the TV. Yeah, Mike the TV hides behind Dot before.
And
shit! Happens. Oh shit!
Yep.
It's Megabyte. Look in the sky. It's a cloud.
No. One little side note. I love that ReBoot is one of those one of the only shows that I've seen where the occurrence of the sky literally opening up and something falling down onto the world is normal. It is expected.
Yeah.
The sky
But it
opens
is
up.
still terrifying.
Oh yeah,
Yep.
it's scary, but it's like, okay, another game.
It's where in our world we see something falling from the sky, we run to avoid it. In their world, they see something falling from the sky and they need to intercept.
Well, I think the majority of mainframe residents run for their
Flee.
lives.
That is true. The sprites are really the only anxious to get in there. So
3 close friends get nullified in a dangerous GameCube with everybody's favorite appliance, Mike the TV.
Bob, Dot, and
Just
Enzo
brilliant.
escape the evil clutches of the maniacal GameCube?
I think they actually had a
Stay tuned
commercial
to
break.
find out.
Will they play through the game and defeat the user? Find out next week on ReBoot. Same mainframe time, same mainframe channel.
ReBoot will return after these messages.
Yep.
You remember that?
And that's also Michael Donovan doing that.
Hey,
That's
assholes.
his voice.
I usually close the podcast out with that exact audio. So
Yeah. So I have some questions about the opening of this game.
oh. Okay.
Go.
Okay, so what we see, the users are always have 6 polygons and no more. But it appears to be a zombie, a Chinese wizard,
Fu Manchu.
a cleric, and a knight, right?
Yep.
Usually the people in mainframe, they reboot as NPCs that would be adversarial to the user, or in this case, users. It's probably one, as Bob says in a bit here, it's one user playing 4 characters.
Yep.
But they reboot as another Dungeons and Dragons team.
Yes.
A party, if you will.
Yeah, but that's shouldn't they reboot as monsters in the dungeon?
I think the orc is the zombie. Sorry, go on.
Oh, it's an orc, not a...
It's an orc, I think, with a limp.
Yeah.
Oh, now that he's coming closer,
yeah,
I can see that.
Okay, that's actually a really good point that I didn't even consider.
Yeah. That's yeah.
Because when you're playing D&D, you're not playing 4v4.
Right,
against
you're not
4
a
other
computer
players.
down to level 99.
Yeah.
So they reboot as another team of user characters, and then have to beat them to the end of the game. That's very strange.
Not gonna lie though, I would totally play this game where you are racing a computer team of other party members.
Oh, completely.
Through a dungeon, but there's no 1-to-1 here. I think it's more of just this is a D&D scenario kind of game where they just facilitate that for the episode.
Could you imagine 4v4 Gauntlet?
Dude.
Ooh.
That would be great.
Yeah.
You guys remember Gauntlet?
I remember Gauntlet.
I remember how bad it was.
I played way too much of Gauntlet Legends on the N64.
Oh, I played the shit out of Gauntlet Legends on the 64. That's
amazing.
the only way to play Gauntlet, in my opinion.
Honestly, yeah.
Sure. I used to have Gauntlet on the NES port of Gauntlet, the original arcade Gauntlet on, when I was a little kid. Played the shit out of that.
Yeah.
I also, this is kind of sort of local talk, but for the longest time back in the early 2000s, there would always be a Gauntlet Legends arcade cabinet on the ferry from Nanaimo to Vancouver. And every ferry ride, I would inevitably sink $20 into this arcade cabinet.
Wow.
Just playing Gauntlet Legends. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good shit.
Yeah, but they're not cool enough to be playing Gauntlet Legends. They are playing Gauntlet. What was that 2D game where you could like ride weird little creatures and you could like do running attacks and use magic, and the characters you could choose from were like a girl in bikini armor, a
Golden
barbarian,
Axe?
and a dwarf. Golden Axe. Yeah, thank
Yeah.
you. Yeah.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
much more of a Golden Axe.
That game is super great. Like,
still holds up. I
yeah,
would argue.
absolutely.
Welcome, Red Warrior.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Man, those stupid little elves.
And
steal your-
if you collected
steal
enough
your items.
potions, and you could do your ultimate attack and summon a dragon to breathe fire on everybody.
Multiple
It was great.
things. Yeah, it was great.
Oh, you guys remember Altered Beast?
Yes.
on Sega
Unfortunately,
Genesis?
yes.
That game is sexy.
Power up.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
Hey, that game was dope like 30 years ago, okay?
I
don't know
revisiting
now,
it.
but-
Revisiting it, my favorite is when you get the first power up. Remember, you can't let any of them go by. If you let any of them like pass you, you don't reach your beast form. The first time you get it,
You don't hit
the
beast
game
mode.
freezes. You don't get beast mode. The first time you get it, your character, everything freezes and there's a power up, and your character's clothes rip, but he doesn't get bigger. His clothes just rip, which I always found really amusing.
So he only hulks out a little bit.
Yeah, he doesn't even get bigger. His clothes
Nice.
just rip a little.
He's just allergic to clothes.
Yeah, or the clothes are allergic to you.
Yeah.
Even better.
The floor is lava.
But yeah, speaking of possible floors being lava, to jump
Yes.
back into this, the totally OP user team just kind of like nonchalantly rides by
Yeah, they just
the
completely.
Bob and the gang, which presumably they're just starting the game now because they're starting from the very top level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's weird that they're kind of like a second team going in. I already mentioned
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Mm.
And Bob somehow recognizes the game and he says, a dungeon deep.
He's probably heard of it or
One
something.
user, 4
Presumably
characters.
he's played it before.
Yeah.
That or
Yeah.
he like read about it in his like Guardian training.
Well,
Yeah.
no, because after he reboots, I'm jumping ahead like 30 seconds here, but after he reboots as the rogue, and he's
thief.
all the thief,
Yeah.
Yep.
and he's all like, "Oh, the thief!
I'm not the warrior.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm not the
And
warrior.
He says, I'm always
al-
the warrior.
I'm always
always the
the
warrior." Yeah.
Okay, fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Presumably
I-
he's played this game before.
But because
I
he's
like-
Bob, he doesn't remember anything about how
I
to solve the game.
I think.
Well, that's
I
a
think,
good point. Hold up. He's like, oh, I've played this
Well,
game before, and I'm
I mean-
always the warrior. If he's played this game multiple times, how come he's so dumb?
He's
I
Bob.
think
He's Bob.
He's-
We've already established.
I really only took that in the way that like he's usually like the head of the team in any game,
Yeah.
or like the
he's
brains.
never the brains of the operation.
He's never the brains of the operation, but he likes to,
Yeah, we had a
Accept that.
whole episode about that in the TIFF, where he's usually
Yes.
the muscle.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
I feel like Enzo and Dot reboot as things that suit them very much.
Yes.
Mhm.
Like Dot is straight up just a wizard.
Yeah.
Yep.
And Enzo reboots as the elf.
he's an
Robin
elf
Hood.
or
Yeah.
an archer kind of thing.
Like way back early
Yeah.
D&D in those games, right? Instead of
That was
being
a-
like race, elf,
I like how his
class, archer. He's just
yeah.
elf.
I was just gonna say I like how his role is just elf.
That's how the first D&D was. There was
yeah.
fighter, cleric, thief, dwarf, and elf, and wizard.
Mhm.
Well, and I mentioned Gauntlet. Like the 4 character classes in Gauntlet were warrior, Valkyrie, wizard, and elf.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I like elf being its own thing.
Yeah.
And
Speaking of rebooting, the way that they all say reboot in this scene is kind of weird to me, and they all do it instead of being all like tap tap reboot, like they've done in every
Yeah.
other episode. They're
They
like
emphasize
reboot.
Boot. Yeah.
Mm.
oh, they all do that.
They all do
Yeah.
it. Yeah,
That's
It's weird. I feel like it might have been like some sort of like voice direction from the voice director
We're
of this
trying it out.
episode in particular.
Yeah.
We're trying things, okay?
Yeah.
Testing the waters.
And
Yeah.
you don't see Mike reboot. I said that. You don't see
how
Mike
Bob's
reboot.
missing a tooth.
Reboots.
Reboot. If you're not
Actually-
the warrior, then who is?
My name is
Ba, ba, ba,
Cecil,
ba.
and I reboot.
I would love it if a game
good.
fell over Dot's Diner
The diner, and he had to reboot.
and Cecil was in the game.
Yeah.
He'd probably be like a bar, like a barkeep character.
Oh, in a tavern or something.
Yeah.
See,
So
I would love it
same
if
thing.
Cecil. I would love it if Cecil rebooted into this like jacked like hero type character.
with
So like
legs.
doubling down on
With
what they do
legs,
with
yeah.
Mike.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically.
Da,
Or
da, da,
something-
da.
or
Mike
something that
the
runs
Mighty
along-
Warrior tonight at 8.
Yeah, he does that an Arnold.
And I
voice.
love that his mouth speaker is on his loincloth.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. He does. He's kind of
That's
like
kinda
the
funny.
Mighty Warrior.
Yeah.
Get down.
Yeah. They don't
Yeah.
overplay it though. That's all they do with that voice.
They
so-
don't.
Yeah, it's kind of nice.
Yeah.
You can overdo it sometimes.
Yeah.
Bob does his famous line. This is
Yep.
bad.
This is
Very
very,
bad.
bad. Yeah.
Yes. And he tries to pick up the sword. And
Oh
then
yeah,
they
that's
they
right. Like,
realize
he's
that
not
they-
even strong enough to like use the
Yeah.
weapon. He
Yeah,
started
yeah.
with.
It's one of those old D&D rules. You can't use a weapon you're not trained in. It's like, well,
Yeah.
I mean, you could pick it up. I mean, but
Oh yeah, that is a very very interesting way to portray the whole like only like the thief class can use this item. Only the
Yeah.
warrior class can use this.
and I played old D&D
Bob's
games.
hand
and
like
worked
passes
that way.
through
Yeah,
the handle.
Yeah, it's like some holodeck shit right there.
Yeah.
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 'cause Enzo tries the wizard staff and it does the same thing. And
Yeah, his hand like phases through it and it ripples. I love it. Bob explains to everyone we're all stuck playing our roles.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
hang that lampshade right over.
Yeah. Wink at the camera.
Exactly.
We're all playing our role, stuck playing our roles in
Too
this
real, man.
role-playing game.
Oh ha ha ha.
Ha ha ha
Stop knocking on my fourth wall, please.
ha.
Oh, you're watching the wrong show.
But they try to ditch Mike.
Yeah.
Like they're just like
Assholes.
Let us do it. We're gonna do it. Like,
Dicks.
How about
Yeah,
you
stay
stay
for
here and
your
do
own
nothing?
Shunned by his friends, ignored by his loved ones, abandoned by those he trusted the most.
if those are the ones that love him, then I'd hate to see the haters.
Yeah, no kidding. I mean, Bob technically owns him, so.
That's true.
Yeah.
He threw him away. It's
He
kind of
threw
like
him
when
away.
you give,
That's
it's like when
true.
you give Dobby a sock.
Yeah.
He's free now.
Yeah.
He threw him away. He's a free man. He's a free TV.
So technically, he came back on his own accord. So really,
Yeah,
Bob's just a dick.
it's Bob's fault.
Yeah, I'm noticing Bob is a dick in a lot of this series so far.
Yep.
Yeah,
Watching it
Yeah.
is a very different experience from when
Yeah.
you're a kid.
yeah,
Yeah. We talked about that earlier, actually.
Yeah.
yeah,
How
yeah.
you have a different perspective now that you're older, and you're kind of siding with Bob a little more than you thought you were before. You're more
no,
annoyed.
I'm the
At
opposite.
first, yeah,
But at least in terms of regarding Mike the TV, you get where he's coming from. But other times you're like, Bob, what's the deal, man? Everyone looks up to you. Why are you being a jerk?
Christopher and I had mentioned it like in an earlier episode, but
Mhm.
we were like, I can't even remember which one it was, but yeah, we discussed how as a kid you think Bob's the coolest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's got glitch and he doesn't afraid of anything.
Exactly.
But as an adult, you're like,
Oh, Dot's actually pretty dope. Like she's like this really strong, independent, like smart businesswoman who seems to have her hand in like basically every pot in
Everything.
mainframe.
And it's
Yeah.
not even that she has power or money or like
Yeah.
whatever. For me, it's that she's just smart
Capable.
and kind.
She,
and
yeah,
capable.
she's smart and
it's-
capable and
Yeah.
Dot has her own hangups,
good-natured.
which
Yeah.
we won't really get into on this particular episode. It'll come up later. But I think it's more like Bob he's just a guy. Like he's trained
just
and
a
he
guy.
knows what he's doing, but he is afraid of things and he is fallible and he's just trying to be tough, trying to be that muscle.
Yeah.
And
I
you
feel
know,
that. I feel
yeah.
that.
And it's like, oh, okay, you're an actual person with problems and you're not that idol that I used to worship when I was 10 years
Huh, that's a good point.
No.
Yeah, that makes him better. Like
Yeah.
I said, I
But you
relate
gotta-
more to a different character, but all
Yeah.
the characters are definitely, I appreciate them more.
They're
as
more
an adult.
three-dimensional than they look on the screen.
Speaking of three-dimensional, Mike the TV makes like a cardboard cutout of himself somehow with weird like television trickery.
Well, yeah, they convinced Bob to let him in the game.
Trick photography.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's like, just stay out of our way. He's like,
Well,
no.
right after they all say, no, you're not coming with. Then suddenly they're begging Bob to let him play the game. I guess it's so. Yeah, it was kind of a quick turnaround.
Well, I think Mike's pity party kind of affected Dot and Enzo. They're like,
for
he's
sure.
harmless. Let him tag along.
In this
You know.
case, I relate to Bob because I'm like, no, that doesn't work on me.
When you're
said no.
when you're in a group project and you that one person is there and you're like, I can do this without you.
Mhm.
Please,
Mhm.
just let me do this. Yeah.
That is generally how I feel. Like in most work-related things, that is generally how I feel
Mhm.
in basically any situation.
Mhm. If it can be
You know
done
what?
by
It's
one
easier for
person,
everyone if you just let me do this.
right?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, we have at work. They're like, oh, we have two part-timers coming in. We know you're really swamped in the freezer. Like, why don't you you can like you can, we'll give them to you. You can get them to do things for you. And I'm just like,
This will take longer. You do
yeah,
realize this.
yeah.
Now I have to watch them.
Yeah, I'm just gonna do this on my own. You know.
Yeah, I'm gonna get
and-
you to leave me alone.
Yeah, I'm just gonna get you to go over there and do this thing.
And sometimes they might actually be useful, but it's most of the time you're just like, I don't need this. Please, why are you?
They're
Why?
never useful.
Yeah,
Never.
you have my sympathy.
Spoiler. All right, so we jump to a
So-
transition scene.
I
And
love
there's-
I
there's
love the
two-
transition screen.
The
Yeah.
transition screens are the level screens, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
And there's a gold and a silver gauntlet that like Brofist.
they brofist.
Away?
And,
Yeah, they
And when you
fist
pull
bump one
away,
another.
it shows a shield on like a wall, and it says the level 1.
Bum,
Yeah.
ba-da-dum, ba-da-dum. Yeah.
And yeah, they're
love it.
inside, and there's a spook. I actually remember playing a super old like PC game where the very beginning had like a demon like skull thing on the wall like this.
Hmm.
One of those games where you had to click around and you could click spells or abilities
Yeah.
and then click on the screen, and
Hmm.
I didn't have the attention span for it
Yeah.
when I was that young.
and then they're approaching this gate next, and Dot makes a comment. She's like, I don't like this place. It gives me the jaggies.
Gives me the jaggies.
Jaggies.
Yeah, that
And-
cracked me up earlier.
Yeah. It's
What are jaggies?
an informal name for artifacts in raster images, most frequently from aliasing, which
Oh,
in turn is often caused by nonlinear mixing effects. And basically, when your model is out of alignment from its textures, and
Oh,
it
that
looks
makes sense.
weird. Basically,
Yeah.
the reboot version of Goosebumps, I guess.
Oh, well, that's
That's
perfect.
how she words it. Yeah,
Yeah.
gives me the
Yeah.
jaggies.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So they
Yeah.
don't have anti-aliasing yet in this
No.
game.
I mean, it's the mid '90s.
Yeah. And the demon head talks. Says to win the chalice, listen to me. One in all in one. That's the key.
Also voiced by Michael Donovan. They just brought him in and had him record this voice. And
Oh, wow.
they just did a little bit of effects on his voice, and there it is. So, yeah, he does all
Sweet.
sorts of characters, side characters, and stuff.
You gotta milk the voice actors for all they're worth.
I feel like he did a voice in Beast Machines as well. Not Beast
Probably.
Wars, but Beast Machines. I'm pretty sure. I think he might have been Tankor in Beast Machines.
I'll look that up.
Tankor. Yeah, so Enzo's like, cool, talking skull, alphanumeric, awesome.
Yep.
I like it when they say the name of the show.
Yes, that's what they had in mind when they
And,
were like, let's make sure we reference this because a podcast is going to mention it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's exactly what they've thought of in
Exactly.
1994. And the svelte wizard Dot is like, maybe it's some kind of clue or a riddle. She's the smart one, remember?
Yes.
She's smart.
She's definitely the smart one. Okay. And everybody starts pushing on the door.
Yeah.
And it's not budging.
Mike does a Dudley Do-Right, and
Yeah.
it goes.
Cannonballs right
That's
into it.
Brilliant.
Wow,
yeah.
you know who Dudley Do-Right is.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
All right. I imagine that's how you feel like all Canadian police are like.
Yeah.
I
mean
mean, you're
they're
not
not?
far off, but
They're not?
They're
I mean,
not.
I'm just an American.
They kind of are.
I hope so.
except when they bust you for like having like a quarter of weed, like they'll just take it away from you and smoke it and be
Right in
all
front
like,
of you?
dumbass.
I feel like there's a story there, Christopher.
Speaking from experience.
Maybe.
And yeah,
I have talked at length on these podcasts about my long and storied history of illicit drug use. So
mostly on our PG-13 podcast, Too Much Energon.
TVY7FV.
Yeah, but on this one, because it is a younger audience, and because Aiden's here, we try to keep it clean. What? Huh?
What?
Right.
Wow.
Cal seems to think this is the more wholesome of our two podcasts.
Then why'd you bring me on?
1000%. 1000% it is.
Okay.
I even feel bad when I swear on this one. You should listen to Too Much Energon
Well,
if you want to.
I'm pretty sure, I'm pretty sure the same age group that watched it then is listening to this now. So I don't think I think you're safe.
I know, but I don't want to swear around you, Aiden. I feel like you're a lot more wholesome than
Why
me.
am I this guy?
As long as there's an
Weird,
explicit
man.
warning, I
Say
think
swears sometimes.
You don't know me very well, do you?
No, that's
wow.
it's just the thing I'm running with.
Yeah,
the bit.
Yeah, that's all.
It's the bit
all good.
that Cal is committed to.
That's
committed
fair.
to it,
That's
damn it.
fair.
They're so
Face for radio.
as if none of them realized, when Mike the TV like runs and touches the door, it just like collapses easily.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But because
they
they're all
all
pushing
become-
on it,
And they all become ex-humans.
So it was supposed to be it was supposed to be the warrior all along that took down the door.
no, they all had to touch it.
Yep. One and all.
They all had to
All
touch
in
it.
one.
Oh, well, I took that
Yep.
too. I guess.
Well,
Okay,
blow
Bob.
me down.
It does make
So,
sense. It
If
does
you're
make
smart,
sense
you
now that I
go,
really think
because all four of them work together.
about it.
that's what
Yeah.
happened.
Hey, we don't
But-
insult Aiden
Hey,
directly here.
all I saw as a kid was Mike do this wicked charge and bust down the door. I didn't see
Hey.
anybody else do that, so that's what I took from that episode.
He is the mighty warrior. You
Fair
could be
enough.
right
True.
about that.
It's
You could
true.
be. Yeah.
But no, it does
Maybe.
make sense now that somebody explains it,
Hmm.
that they all had to touch the door.
It's almost
made-
like
Yeah.
that guy telling them the riddle, the demon face.
No.
Hmm.
Mike-
Mm.
I don't know
Mike
about
may
that.
not have his glorious warrior sword, but he has the biggest dick of them all.
Jesus.
Well, it's
And
mouth
it's
is
yours
on his
free
loincloth.
for only $99.99.
Plus
Well
shipping
done.
and handling.
Oh dear.
So they're TMNTing it. The Teenage
Yes.
Mutant Ninja Turtles now. They're literally on like green slime. Like
A river of slime.
Yeah.
90s too.
Yeah.
A river of slime?
It's
There
a
must be 25,000 gallons of it.
Ghostbusters
It flows
2
all
Ghostbusters 2
into the
reference.
city.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but yeah, Ghostbusters 2. I liked Ghostbusters 2.
I do
And
too.
it's-
Yeah.
I love it.
Okay.
Yeah.
It
I saw it
gets
in
a bad
theaters,
rap from a lot of
actually.
people.
It's not. It's the problem is it's a follow up to one of the greatest comedy films of all time.
Oh
So
yeah.
it's like
Totally,
you can't really compare it, but it's good on its own.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
I'd agree.
Yeah.
And
All right.
that's true. That's a good point. I always wondered why people had a hate on for the second one.
Because it's not the first one. That's really what.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they are
so-
surfing
Yes.
The skull.
on the door.
Oh my god, it's the Scoleri brothers.
I do want to make special mention of the lighting in this dungeon for when they're going down this river
Oh,
Yep.
and all the torches and like the glow of everything. Like this is
that
still
is
really,
really well done.
and like when
Yeah.
she lights up her staff and it's all illuminating. It's really impressive for the first season, and they're still getting their water wings when it comes to this 3D animation. And it's like, wow, okay, here we go. We're actually in a dungeon. This looks good.
And the wall sconces, the torches,
Yeah.
they're flickering, so they get brighter and they dim a little bit, and it's
very
very
impressive.
good.
Very,
Yeah,
very
Dot-
good animation for the
Dot
times.
the
yeah.
wizard takes off her hat after she uses her staff to illuminate the little door raft they're on, and she just has a map inside of her wizard hat.
Yeah.
And I'm pausing it just for the first time now and trying to look at the map. It actually shows the position of the users.
Yeah.
They're presumably blue, and the little green
Yeah.
like oval is the user team.
It's them.
Huh.
Huh? Oh wait, who's blue?
The Bob and Dot and Enzo and Mike.
Oh.
Our heroes.
They're on the
Yeah.
river.
Because they're on the river.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
yeah.
they even
okay.
say that they point to Dot points. You can tell it's her hand because not only is it wizardly, she rocks the black nail polish.
Oh,
yeah.
hell yeah.
The users team's up ahead, and this must be us because we're on the river.
We're traveling down the hopeless river of internal imprisonment.
Also, I would like to call attention to the fact that this medieval castle has a relatively modern looking sewage system
It's quite impressive,
beneath
really.
it.
Yeah.
Like it was programmed by someone who lived in the modern age but didn't quite know how castle dungeons worked.
Well, like aqueducts and like plumbing, it that goes back a lot farther than people think,
That's true.
right? Like humans have been like trying to manipulate water and, like deal with their own filth for many hundreds of years. But I know what you mean. It's like laid out a little too perfectly. Like the bends in it are like, it's very big. Like this is
Yeah.
probably like the biggest sewer in existence.
It looks like something I would be wandering around in Silent Hill 3.
It looks like something out of a video game,
Almost.
but I could be wrong.
A fantasy role playing game.
I'm surprised there weren't monsters in the river.
Well, I think that's more of an introduction. But Bob's like, "Where are we going next?" And she's like, "The vicious pit of total oblivion." He's like, "Oh, sounds nice." But then they're like, "Wait a minute."
And it's right in front of them.
Yeah.
This is interesting. They fall off into the vicious pit, and the raft goes down a pit, and it shows Bob. He's hanging onto a cliff that he just managed to grab onto, and
Yeah.
everyone is hanging off of him. There's some. He has a high strength stat.
He's the
Yes.
rogue though, but it's like,
Hey, have
And
you ever
even-
played a
That
rogue with like
dude's
18
hand
strength?
strength, though.
Yes.
Like,
even
holy shit.
even Mike the TV addresses this.
Oh yeah, he's
By-
like, Bob's strength, hold out.
Will Bob's strength hold out?
Yeah. Will our
Yeah.
heroes be dashed into the pit of horror?
Tune in next time.
Yeah,
Same
for-
bat time, same bat channel.
That darn
Yes.
wacky crazy dungeon. Like, yeah,
That's right. I forgot what he said. I
Yeah.
was like, oh, it was something really ridiculous that he.
yeah.
that darn wacky
Well-
crazy dungeon.
And then they interrupt him because it's like, come on, just climb up.
Mike, we had just climbed the fuck up here. Come on.
Yeah. You need the
Yeah.
bottom person to climb up first.
Yeah.
And so he does, and Bob's fine. And I'm like,
Well, and
wow.
he's a CRT TV as well. So
Yeah, he
Ooh.
is
he's a heavy
400
motherfucker.
pounds.
Yeah. Then it's really Dot's leg strength we have to thank.
Yeah.
For
Those
keeping
are some
Mike-
wicked calves.
Yeah,
Well, she
Yeah.
wears heels every day,
But-
man.
I
Yeah,
could talk about
that's,
Dot's
you know-
legs all day, but
Oh,
let's
Oh,
transition to the next level.
that's a whole other
you can
episode.
talk about Dot's
Yeah.
legs all day, but I spend way too long talking about Hexadecimal's legs in the episode where she's introduced.
That's
So don't
true.
feel
You
bad.
did.
Re-listening to it, I spend way too long
Yes.
talking about Hexadecimal. No regrets.
Don't worry, guys. I'm gonna get real thirsty in season 3 when Andrea grows up.
Yeah.
So
Oh, okay. We need to
I'm gonna have to
dedicate,
guest back onto this show when we get to season 3 because
to dedicate an entire episode to Andrea.
Yeah, just
season
gonna need
3.
to.
Yeah.
We're all gonna be simping
It's
for
okay.
Andrea.
He's going to be talking about Andrea. I'll be talking about how cool Matrix is, and we'll move on.
Alrighty then.
we'll find out.
I mean, everybody wanted to be like a huge jacked dude with a cybernetic eye and a magic,
A magic
like
gun.
RoboCop gun.
I
Yeah.
really wanted the gun. Didn't care so much about being jacked. I just really wanted Andrea.
Well, here's the thing.
Uh,
You need to understand your folly in that line of thinking. You don't
Oh.
care about being jacked, but you want Andrea. Ooh, you can't have only one of
Hey,
those things.
It's called body positivity, pal. Look it up.
You get girls like Andrea by being Matrix jacked. I'm just
You
saying.
get girls like Andrea by loving yourself. Or whatever they're teaching us now.
And losing a game.
Yeah,
that's,
I feel like
that is
you-
true.
I want to
Literally
go into
being
spoilers.
stuck with
That's-
each other.
I
I
feel
think
like
that's,
you're both right here.
Yeah.
Literally being stuck with each other for however many cycles.
I feel like you're
Yeah.
both right.
Yeah, they can pile up faster. And okay, anyways, we're
Gonna
getting ahead
table
of
that
ourselves.
discussion for another
Woof.
episode.
Yeah, we're getting way ahead of ourselves here. We're on level 2.
This is
Yes.
oh my god, I can't wait.
Da, 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 da.
There are ghost Roman centurions?
Something like that. Yeah.
Something like that? Greek warriors?
I think
Oh,
they're
yeah.
Greek.
Greek
Yeah.
actions.
They're like ghostly. Like
actions?
their parts are
Nice.
their armor's just hanging in the air.
You're trying to like sneak in, and Mike just slams the door.
Okay,
Yeah,
so-
I love that.
Have any of you guys played Blood Omen?
Yes,
Blood
Oh,
Omen: Legacy of Kain.
you're goddamn
PS1
right.
game.
I
I'm
have
aware
not.
of it.
You know, as somebody that practices archery, it really bothers me how Enzo's holding his bow.
When he
If
when he
you've
enters
never
the
shot a bow before in your
Yeah.
life, that's how you hold a bow.
yeah.
He's
Huh?
holding it like sideways, like Turok, like. It's the
Dinosaur
way
hunter.
it's like it's like
well-
when you crouch in Skyrim and your character switches their bow like sideways. That's how he's holding his.
I think he's just holding it down and not poised
Maybe,
it to shoot.
except that he's pulling the string.
Yeah. Well,
So
I
he's
don't
readying
know
it to
if any of the animators were archers.
I mean, clearly not.
Probably
So-
not.
It's
But
TV.
I will admit this: it does look cool.
It does. For Enzo being an elf with the hat and everything.
Yeah,
As
yeah.
cool as he can be.
And I think let me just get back to that scene real quick and take a look. If you can see the arrow, does he have an arrow? Yeah,
Kind of.
the tip. You'll see the tip of the arrow later. We'll get back to that arrow
Yeah, yeah.
in a
Mhm.
moment. But yeah,
I love this. It turns into an episode of what was that
Let's
game
Make a
show
Deal.
with Let's Make a Deal. Thank you.
Yes. You have to choose the door.
Yeah.
Oh
And
yes.
Mike is eating it up.
He loves it. He was born for this moment.
Yeah.
Will it be door number 1 or door number 2 or door number 3? But it shows 9 doors behind him.
And they think the Mike opened a door, but it's not him.
Oh right, there's like a thud sound.
Yeah. They're like, wasn't me.
These are weird enemies. The ghostly soldiers. Uh-oh. I heard a
Yeah.
sound.
Yeah.
Christopher.
So the reason why I brought up Blood Omen is because these
Christopher,
guys look
I heard a
like
sound
What-
like
yeah,
somebody leaving.
Something happened.
Did Craig?
I heard nothing.
Is
He's
Craig
still in
still
here.
here? Okay,
I
good.
saw. Okay.
I thought I'd just mention it.
Hmm.
Okay, sorry, you were saying Blood Omen.
Yeah.
The reason why I blood up.
Were you blood up?
Jesus.
Blood it up.
Blood up or
Awesome.
nut up?
Blood up brought omen.
The reason why I brought up Blood Omen was because there's a character in that game named Malik, who is basically he's been cursed to essentially be a ghost inhabiting his Seraphan armor because he failed the Circle of Nine and allowed them to be killed by Vorador at the beginning of the game. But yeah, he's a floating suit of armor, essentially. I posted a screenshot of him in the Discord chat. But yeah, I brought it up because that's what these remind me of.
I see the resemblance.
And in fact, like the whole like visual style of this game, period, kind of reminds me of Blood Omen. At least the Blood Omen FMV sequences.
Mm.
When did that game come out?
1996, I believe.
Oh, so it's actually after this episode.
Yes.
But
Coincidence?
Yeah.
I think so.
Mm.
So I didn't realize how big they were until they ran away. Because when they open the door, it seems like they're almost human size. But when they run away from them, they're like 15 feet tall.
Well, the scale is accurate when they're like entering the room. You can just see the statue's like feet, but it's a weird cut because they're all standing in front of the door, but then they look up and they cut to just the statues in front of the door, and they're not in the shot, and then they cut back to them running away from the same door. So it's a little jarring, in which it's a little confusing, but you get the general gist because it cuts so quickly.
Yeah.
I like
go ahead.
No, I'm done.
Oh, I like Dots. They're like, look at her as if she can do something because Bob's like, don't worry, I'll handle this with my butter knife. And he like pulls out like a thieves tool. This like little starting equipment. Level 1 like thieves knife.
Yep.
And Dot, they all look to her to try to fix things, and she's like, whatchamacadabra call it? Which somehow actually does something.
Yep.
And she makes them half as big, but she doubles them. So now there's like 4 8-foot tall statues, like ghostly armors coming at them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mike's like 2 for the price of 1. Because, Mike. But it works.
Nice going, Merlin. And instead of
Thanks, Bob.
instead of them like splitting off and fighting each of them like one-on-one like you would expect, because that comes kind of at the end of the episode, they just kind of like do it again.
Yeah, if it works.
Yeah. Try again. They're
Encore.
like, okay. Encore. And she's like, whatchamacadabra call it? And now there's 8. But they're smaller. And she does it again.
Do it again. And now
there's
there's
16.
Now there's 16.
But
Man.
they're
tiny.
small. This reminds me of The Evil Dead.
Yes.
Yeah.
And instead of them stabbing their feet, they just kind of like comically like squish them.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, having dungeon mastered more than a few games, if a party discovers a method that works, they're going to lean on that as hard as they can. So this makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
I too am somebody that runs many a game, many an RPG in my day.
Yeah, I guarantee you, if my party had discovered that this spell worked, they'd just do it over and over.
Why not?
Yeah.
Got to get that XP somehow.
Yep.
And Mike's blabbering on, and Dot
doing-
like zaps him with some magic.
He's doing like an announcery voice, just talking about what they're doing, like at a derby as they're just squishing them.
And when she zaps him, as Bob and Enzo are like playfully, like kids in a schoolyard, jumping on these like little ghost statues.
Yeah, they're just leaping around. Yeah.
She zippers Mike's mouth.
Genie
magic.
style, from like Aladdin.
Yeah, which is, I'm like, whoa, you can do that? All of your problems are solved.
Yeah, at least in the game.
Yeah.
And she gives him like such a like, I don't know, like sitcom-y, like
eye roll.
You rascal.
Come on, guys. Are you done yet?
I'll show you
realized,
a screenshot of it.
Yeah, I just realized at the 10-minute 19 mark, there's a small little centurion like hiding behind a pillar that got away, and he's like looking at them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Huh. Good for him.
Yeah.
So he does know fear. Bob slams open a door.
Yeah.
He does afraid of anything.
Yes.
And
he just tries the
scream
door.
in horror. Yeah.
Like it cuts to the POV of the door, and they're all like, "Oh my god!" They're screaming. And you don't see what's in it. They just cut.
Nope.
They shut the door.
And then Bob slams the door again.
Yeah. Great
That's
gag.
and it works somehow.
Very Evil Dead.
Yeah. And somehow Mike the TV got the zipper off his mouth because he's talking again.
I guess
he
the spell
opens
wore
the
off.
right door. He has magic like door powers because he's he is like a talk show host half the time. So
Yeah. You'll be late for the next level. Let's go.
yeah. And then there's a eternal spiral staircase with a scene that Christopher loves because his favorite creature is in it.
First we transition to level 13, so we're skipping ahead a little bit.
Oh yeah, then good.
Yeah.
They yada 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 some levels.
Yeah. Basically.
Which we should be doing on the show. And there is a much more realistic spider in this. Christopher had mentioned this like earlier. This spider is more disgusting and realistic than the spiders in Beast Wars, even though it came out 2 years later.
It's very impressive, like in terms of just the modeling and the appearance. It's terrifying. But I wanted to make my special mention. We hear a high pitched screaming, and at first you think it's Dot, but then they all look over and Dot's like, ugh, and she looks over and it's Mike screaming, but it's actually Dot's voice actress doing the scream, because Michael Donovan in his podcast he talked about how it was her doing that, and he can do a scream, but they wanted it higher pitched, more terrified, and she just belted it out. And it's a great scream.
It is. It's a good drama scream.
Yeah,
fantastic. So they milked their voice actors.
I like that. Yeah, it was a team effort.
This fucking spider.
So Bob becomes extremely useful, and he like Mario jumps. He Mario jumps on the spider's head, bounces off, and attaches himself to the thread that the gigantic spider is hanging from, and starts sawing away at it with his butter knife. And this is scary. It like almost gets his leg.
Yeah, it grabs.
Oh, it actually grabs his leg. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, gross.
It's pretty tense.
Yeah. And it screams.
Hang on this scene very long.
We'll move forward.
We're gonna keep going.
It screams and falls into the depths below, which is funny because that's where they're going.
And Bob's like, "That was easy enough," and Dot's like, "What?" with this whole gag, and it's great. Just this little.
So
Bob's useful.
that was easy enough. Is one of Bob's recurring catchphrases in the
Yeah.
show. Is this the first time we've heard it? Because I feel like it might be.
Maybe.
I think it was on the first episode too.
I think so. I'd have to do a rewatch.
He burns a hole through an asteroid and flies through it.
Yes.
The funny thing is, true. The funny thing is, then they continue going downwards, but that's where the spider just fell. So presumably they have to deal with it again, unless it died.
I think it died. Enough
Fair.
falling
I hope
damage.
it died.
It's big enough that it takes falling damage. Spiders IRL don't.
Yeah.
Those bastards.
And then we transition to level 23.
Dun 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 dun.
And it comes in on
Mike
Mike.
is saying some Mike bullshit.
Yeah.
There's no way out, and
They yell at him and tell him to log off, and they continue.
then we transition
And it
in.
doesn't show us how they beat that level, but they jumped to level 31.
Yep.
So presumably there's just a lot of exploration. It could be that all the levels are randomly generated.
Possibly. It could be a roguelike.
Given the year, probably doubtful.
Holy shit! Carrots in shining armor.
Yes.
Yes. Carrots in shining armor. Weird. I loved it as a kid, but now I'm just thinking, like, what?
It just doesn't make any sense at all.
Joke enemies?
Yeah.
You do actually see them later in the show, which is great.
Mm-hmm.
BS&P.
And they remember that Bob has glitch because he says cutter, and like a Mortal Kombat weapon almost. A giant cutter shoots out, goes down the hallway, and then comes back to him.
Yeah,
and the carrots are like sliced up.
Yeah, and Mike's like, "Operate right now. Surely you can't be serious."
And then he jumps at the opportunity to say, "He slices, he dices, he cuts julienne fries."
Yeah.
Circling back to the julienne fries.
Yes.
Yes.
That's how comedy works.
Also, these sliced carrots actually look surprisingly realistic.
Yeah.
Don't they actually look like sliced carrots?
They do, yeah.
They do. Well, they probably had references, So.
Level 37.
Dun, 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 dun,
Here they
dun.
are, and they're the camera's rotating.
Yeah, for some
them.
reason, Dot says, we didn't get a chance to hear the riddle for this level. Does that mean there has been 37 riddles? There's been a riddle for every single level?
Maybe, but they probably didn't find them all.
And how did they get there?
I think
we
it's
don't
more
ask these questions. This is the longest game in history.
Yeah, this is a visual gag, I can tell, because it's just the way that they're all standing on this little tiny plateau over nothing, and Mike is just hanging on for dear life.
Hanging on. Oh, poor guy.
It reminds me of the depths of the Mines of Moria in Lord of the Rings.
And Enzo's like, will you two shut up? Like, just I'm tired of hearing you argue.
There's no walls, it's just darkness. They're on a pillar of indeterminate height, and the only light is Dot's little staff. And then it goes pajung, and it cuts to another level transition
42.
of 42. So this one has green fire sconces. Green fire is more evil than orange fire.
And they're fighting an evil puddle of water, I think.
Also, in this bit here, like the depth of field effect is kind of fucked up. Looking to me, because like
when they're going down the hall and it's a little
everything's kind of blurry, like out of focus.
Because it's still relatively even torch lighting, and you'd think that the green flames would be like have green lights, but it's for a single gag scene on a plane. But because it's fighting like a puddle of water that
puddle
animates.
Of water.
And Dot's just like, freeze.
Bob just looks at it and smiles and goes, Dave Frost. Yeah. And then he slips on the ice.
Yeah.
They're actually using tactics on the show.
Yes.
Dog? Who's dog?
Wow.
Bob is like slowly like getting ready to hold the door open, and the others are pressed against the wall, and Enzo's there like notching an arrow.
Yeah, and on the arrow is this terrifying clown head that is more terrifying than an actual arrowhead.
Agreed.
But ABC is like, you can't have sharp weapons on your show. BS&P was like, no, so we're going to make it more scary. And he opens the door.
Cause we're living with BS&P.
Yes. I think that's next episode.
2 episodes from now.
I
I
Talent
almost
Nightmare.
forgot
Talent
about
My
that.
favorite episode of season 1.
Yes.
So I'm stoked to get to it.
Yeah. But they take out like a golem or something like a.
It's like another suit of armor.
Yeah.
A spooky
they-
suit of armor.
It's an enemy that they can kill without shedding blood or anything. So.
True. Yeah. And then they're getting chased by like the crummiest beholder ever.
And we transition to level 58, and it's just a running scene of being chased by an eyeball.
Yeah. An eyeball with some like red tentacles.
With red vein things as legs.
And
which is actually really scary if you think about it. But
I think that's worse than a sharp object, but that's just me.
Yeah, well, it goes by so fast. It's just this little chase.
What would it do if it caught them?
I don't know. That's the scary part.
Level 65.
Dun, 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 dun. They are using a giant fucking banana as a speeder bike.
Yes.
I love this.
They're zipping around like it's a speeder bike from Empire Strikes Back. Or not Empire, Return of the Jedi.
Oh,
but it's a giant banana.
Then they're chased by this this skull head on like centipede legs or whatever.
Yeah. That's pretty creepy.
But again, it goes by so fast
a
that
skullipede, if you will.
Yeah.
Yes.
I gotta
it's
use
very
this guy for the
Sega
next
Saturn.
game.
And it breathes fireballs.
Yeah.
Like even Enzo comments on it. He's like, a fire-breathing skullipede fits right in with shadow worms, and he like lists a bunch of.
I have the
spooky
subtitles.
stuff.
Let me read it off here. It's,
yeah, go ahead. Living rock piles.
Oh, sure.
Killer puddles.
Shadow worms, and let's see here. Like living rock piles, killer puddles, haunted laundry, battle carrots, armored, and then they gets interrupted because they're like, oh, hold on, and they ditch the banana.
I'm intrigued by. I want to know more about this haunted laundry.
Yeah.
yeah.
On one of the levels that we didn't see, I suppose.
Did they have to like wash it?
Ooh, but it stays dirty no matter how many times you wash it.
Ooh, dry clean only.
That's the secret to defeating it, is you just have to get it dirty again.
Yeah.
To keep it perpetually busy trying to wash itself.
It's like owning Suede. I have nothing to follow that up with. It's it's really hard to clean.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true. But they ditched the banana, and it just bounces away.
And they run underneath a spiky gate, but Bob is trapped on the other side.
Yeah. He's cut off, and they're running through a hallway Indiana Jones style with a bunch of darts.
Yeah, a bunch of darts or arrows zipping past them. And it's funny because I'm like, how convenient for them to like employ no dodging maneuvers whatsoever and just still conveniently not get hit by any of these.
Running through.
And then it literally shows like an outline of them on the wall in arrows.
Yeah, like they were in exactly the right spot. Great cartoon gag, for sure.
It is. And then it's a Skyrim like Draugr level because like axes come from the ceiling and the walls and try to slice them, and there's a pit of spikes.
Classic pit spike, and then like this stained glass window pops in.
Well, it's spikes, but
they form together.
Oh,
she turns it into a window, and
she turns it into a window, and they just run through it.
And
floor falls out from.
He jumped over a
But
fence.
this one does not have spikes.
No,
and it's a level transition. They're at 66.
Well,
dun, 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 dun.
The last level.
Yes.
Yeah, and there's another demon head on the other side of the room, but it is golden.
Yes.
I was hoping the final level would be level 69.
Nice.
I'm glad you said that because I thought about saying that, and I'm like, no.
No.
I'm the lowbrow
Christopher will say that.
No, that's far too stupid of a comment to make. And I'm all like, level 69. Nice.
Aiden, you're supposed to say nice.
I laughed. My number, my last 4 digits of my phone number are 0069.
Nice.
When I go up to pay for stuff at work, Alistair, without fail, it doesn't even matter how many times I've had to tell him, just wants to hear me say 0069. And he'll just take like a 2-second pause and be like, nice. I'll be like, God damn it.
Yeah, that tracks.
But
the floor is missing in this room.
The center of the room is missing, and Mike is happy that they're almost done. But then
he's a song and dance man, you know?
Yeah, he's an entertainer. And then the candle gets brighter.
He's the scat man.
Yeah.
Scooby-Doo boop boop up. Yeah, like Alakar said, there's a single candle in the room, and it flares up really bright. So bright it almost blinds the team. Yeah. And spooky shadow monster appears behind them.
Yeah. It's very clever.
It's a shadow monster, and it attacks them by attacking their shadows.
Yeah.
Again, another scene where the lighting is really well done.
Yes.
It's
quite impressive.
Showing off here, yeah. And instead of hitting them into the hole, the pit, it smacks them safely onto the other side of the room.
Yes. Because PS&P.
Right.
So I would like to point out that Dot is like hanging off the edge here, and Enzo is just straight up like laying on the floor looking at her.
Yep.
Not doing anything.
Yeah. Well, maybe he got the wind knocked out of him, and he's like, ugh.
That's what I thought, yeah. Because he hit the wall. And I like how Bob, with all of his like guardian key toolness, pulls out his like little butter knife to like fight the shadow monster.
Well,
but then he leaps over the chasm to save Dot, and like if any of you have the episode up in front of you, just look at the jumping animation of him just like leaping over it.
Before we get to that animation, we're looking for it. Dot is like hanging off the edge here. She's the wizard, so she probably has a strength modifier of like -1, -2, right? Remember when Bob held all 4 of them up with ease?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's at the 1547 mark, but yeah, it doesn't quite stick the landing, but it's enough to.
Oh my gosh, yeah, that's.
It's like the way he leaps.
If you look at the level, like it's quite clearly shown in front of us, there was no need to jump across.
Yeah, he could have just ran over.
He could have just ran around.
But you know,
it
this
actually
is Bob.
probably took
this
longer
is Bob
to
we're
jump.
Talking about. So, I think
it connects quite clearly. Huh. Oh well.
But then he winks at Dot, and it's like, oh, okay. He's trying to impress
Don't
her.
worry,
I think.
I got you, girl.
Yeah.
And for some reason, I don't get. Sorry, go ahead, Kurt. Go ahead.
Not only is the jump itself like comically
unnecessary,
but like even the way he lands on his butt, and does and like when he lands, he kind of slides forward a bit. It's like, dude, what are you doing?
So this part is so weird to me. They're all very capable. Like Dot is like 3 seconds from being pulled up. Enzo's there, he's perfectly fine, and he turns and he's like, "Mike's our only hope." But Mike is like 3 feet away from him.
Yeah.
Like I don't understand how Enzo's defeated here. He still has 3 arrows. Actually, he's had 3 arrows in his quiver the entire time.
Right.
But Mike's their only hope? Okay.
He
gives up quickly.
Yeah. Because if he doesn't, the shadow will just switch to the other wall. I
guess he'll knock them back safely to the other side of the room.
I don't know.
So Mike the TV and with his barbarian helmet and his shield kind of starts backing up.
He does a lawyer commercial.
Oh yeah, mangled, injured, partially erased. You have your legal rights. Call Cefeli Schumacher, and what does he say there?
Edwards,
yeah.
Edwards.
We won't be undersued.
And he kind of nervously backs up into the wall, and
He breathes in like he's gonna scream.
Yep.
But then he very smartly just blows out the candle. Boom.
It just turns to the candle and blows it out.
Yeah.
And they're all in darkness.
And we have cartoon eyes in the dark,
Horrifying.
which is a great cartoon effect. It's a little scary, but fine.
Their eyes glow. They glow white.
Yeah. And then the room is, again, brilliant lighting here. It's illuminated by Mike the TV's static, as he explains
Yeah, the dim light.
how he knows what to do because he saw it on a movie, in a bad monster movie.
Uh-huh.
And it's like, oh, well.
Only on BMMN, Bad Monster Movie
Bad
Network.
Monster Movie Network.
Yeah.
So good.
And it's like, oh, hey, Mike was actually useful again. And they're actually like, they turned around on him. They're like, oh, good job.
Yeah, we owe you an apology.
Oh.
Yeah.
Now they owe him an apology.
After he's
Yeah.
helped numerous times throughout the entire episode.
Yeah.
I get the
Friends
feeling
like
that
these.
like this was the first time he solved the room completely on his own.
Fair.
So
Fair.
yeah.
Mm.
Well, it's not solved yet because the Golden Skullington. He says, to win the chalice, listen to me. One in all in one. That's the key. And they kind of are like, oh man, this
We
guy's
heard
starting
this
to
one.
bother me. Yeah, and the floor, starting from the opposite end of the room, starts to fall away. That's very video gamey.
Yes, it's very square. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it's falling away into an endless pit.
Yep.
And there,
A pit of bottomlessness, listness.
yeah, he does his own echo effect.
Yeah. And then they all get the riddle finally.
Yeah, after
And-
repeating it to themselves, they all put their hand in the gigantic keyhole.
Keyhole.
Yes.
And they push down and they fall into an open room.
And the Stanley Cup is there.
And the Stanley
Yep.
Cup is there.
Yeah. Very tiny Stanley Cup.
In a room of mirrors, and this part's great. I love this whole
Alphanumeric, the Stanley Cup.
Yeah. That's a different game.
And it's underneath like a display case with
Yeah,
4
yeah.
handles. Geez, I wonder how we get it open. Heard.
Oh man, we're from Vancouver. The Stanley Cup's something we've never had before.
What does it smell like? Does it smell like hopes and dreams being crushed? Then I want nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
Does it
That's a
smell
little,
like riots
that's-
happening?
That's a little Vancouver humor for
Mhm.
you there, Alucard.
Yes.
We had some riots when Boston visited us not too long ago. Shameful.
Well, that was like almost a decade ago now.
It feels closer.
There were also riots when Vancouver lost to the New York Rangers back in the 1994 Stanley Cup.
Yeah.
Mm.
So the
personally
lesson
don't.
here
yeah.
is like, don't ever let Vancouver get to the Stanley Cup playoffs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
not a problem. It only happens every 15 years or so.
Every generation.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh shit, that means it's coming up in like a few years here.
Yeah.
oh fuck.
Crap.
Sorry,
I
Alucard,
personally-
what were you saying?
Yeah, I personally don't watch a lot of hockey, but people in my household do because they're big fans of the Nashville Predators, and so they watch a lot of hockey.
Mm.
So yeah, I am aware in the periphery of the goings on and in
That's kind of how I am.
yeah.
Yeah, you want to hear a stereotype being broken? I'm a Canadian who doesn't even like hockey at all. Like even in the slightest. The only reason like I know of this stuff is because it's so local. It's kind
'Cause
of
of the
hard
riots?
to. Yeah, it's kind of hard to
Yeah.
ignore.
Right.
Yeah.
But-
same
I like
Fair enough.
baseball. like any good Canadian.
I am a fan of any sports ball. Sports ball is where it is at. I like it when the players defeat other players.
Yes.
I like it when local sports team wins/loses important game.
You like it when local sports team loses? Traitor.
Nerd. Nerd. All of you. Yeah. Me too. It's okay.
Yeah. Fucking nerds.
Yeah.
So
We'll
yeah, the
record
House of
a
Mirrors.
podcast. Yeah, the mirrors. This is great.
This is like another Evil Dead-ish kind of thing.
Yeah, for sure. But
Speaking
we
of
know
Evil
that
Dead,
we know that the Mainframe, the company, they're big fans of Evil Dead because
Oh,
there's
yeah.
a whole
Oh yeah,
episode in
absolutely.
season
Well,
3. But
Yeah,
we'll get there in a few months.
yeah.
There are Deadite versions of all of them.
Yes.
They all have like gray skin and like white, like dead eyes.
Yeah, and sharp teeth.
Yeah, and sharp teeth. That's how you know they're Deadites.
Yeah. And the evil Mike actually knows how to hold his sword, and yeah, it's
Oh yeah.
yeah.
I like that Bob brings the battle to him and jumps into the mirror world.
yeah, and like
'Cause that's smart.
the shots of
It
like
feels like a very bad idea.
of Bob just like
again, it's Bob.
beating up his
Yeah.
his mirror self.
Bob
Why?
is known
Pretty
to
funny.
leap
Yeah.
before he looks most of the time.
But it works for him,
Yeah.
especially here. He really beats the crap out of his Deadite version.
And Mike is chased racehorse announcer style, and
Oh.
and
Is it that they can
That's
only fight their shadow copy? Because the evil shadow Mike with the barbarian sword, it seems to only be targeting like Mike the TV.
I think so. I think the shadows are just programmed to fight their copies.
And
And
indeed,
Probably.
that's kind of how they beat them, because they help each other.
they change
beat them.
partners. Yeah,
Yeah.
but Doc gets turned into a Picasso.
Oh,
By
I
her-
forgot. Yeah, her evil. Oh, that's the most evil thing a wizard Dot can do. Turn Dot into a painting.
Yeah. Well, I mean, she could have just
Quite dastardly.
shrunk her and made her 2 of them, like before.
Oh,
but-
true. Abracadabra, whatchamacadabra, call it.
Yeah.
I don't know why
Yeah.
I remember that.
Like,
So-
it sticks. It sticks in your head. It's one of those things. But
One of those things. Yeah,
and
so Dot is a Picasso painting who can talk. Deadite Bob, like holding his lower back, like he's injured, crawls out of the mirror
Love that.
back into the real realm, and Bob, living Bob, jumps through the mirror and tackles him again, and it looks like he's gonna like execute him, like snap his neck.
snap his neck, and holds.
Yeah, he puts him in like a headlock, and I'm like, whoa.
I think you hear a few cracking
yeah,
sounds.
you hear him. Yeah.
But he doesn't snap his neck. That's not TV friendly.
It's
And there's
not
a gargoyle,
BSMP.
and the gargoyle has to talk because, what they presume correctly, they hear the riddle again, and
Yeah.
Bob yells, "The users are coming!" So presumably they're hot on their heels,
Yeah.
which is weird because didn't the room not have a floor? Or do you think the floor like reformed?
I think it reset. It's
Yeah.
a video game, so
Yeah.
you know.
And I
It
like
respawned.
how after Dot is turned into a Picasso painting on an easel, is that what they're called?
Yeah.
Deadite Dot is just kind of like
Yeah.
hissing and
Yeah.
using like her claws as if to like scare or
Like
like slash at the air in front of Dot.
Like,
And
what
I'm
more
like,
could
oh,
you possibly do? Yeah.
And she bumps into Mike, and he pulls a mic on him, and
Yep.
he does an
Pulls a
ad
mic,
for
yeah.
the Love Hospital, and
Your
you're
prescription to romance.
exactly. And it's such a bad show that the shadow Dot just runs back into the mirror.
She hisses and just runs away.
Yeah.
And I guess her leaving this realm turns Dot back to normal.
And then she turns in the evil Mike into a beach ball.
With feet.
Yeah.
I love this. She just boots him through the
Just punch him with
Through
her
the
thunder
mirror.
thighs. Just boom, right into the mirror.
the things I would do to be that ball.
Oh man.
Oh my. And then
Moving
somehow Enzo just gets completely tied up and has an apple on his head. And
Yeah,
it's
like how did
what
this
happened,
happen?
Enzo? Like, did you just like let him do this? And he's gonna shoot an arrow with a boxing glove. I think
Yep.
that's
It's a boxing
is.
glove.
Good old DS&P.
Yep.
Right.
Oh no, Enzo might get slightly bruised.
You might get punched. Oh no. But
So
then
the shadow versions aren't so. You know what? Maybe they're less evil than the real copies. Who knows?
yeah, maybe. But
Well, we'll never know.
Dot taps on Deadite Enzo's shoulder, and she scowls. And I like how she beats him. She does the same thing that she did to Mike the TV.
Yeah.
Presumably, she just punts him
Just-
through the
kicks him real hard, just boom, right through.
right through the mirror.
Great.
And then Bob kicks Evil Bob
Evil Bob.
into the wall.
Yeah.
And Mike defeats this one.
Yep. With the commercial channel. All commercials, all the time. An eternity of useless products to rot your skeevy little mind.
You got
Your
it.
skeevy little mind.
Forever.
And
Yeah,
of
he
course,
does this weird, like, almost like Jack Nicholson.
It's a little
Yeah.
Jack Nicholson.
Yeah.
Your
Yeah.
skeevy little mind.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
And Evil
Of
Bob
course-
screams
yeah.
in horror.
that scares off Bob, of course it does. And yeah. So they beat their evil selves.
Yeah,
But-
he exits the mirror himself.
Yeah, he just runs away.
But
I get
wait. I get it. But wait, the users are here.
Yep.
Oh shit.
Oh shit. And they start pushing open one of the mirrors. And
doors, yeah.
Bob's like slams himself into the door to stop him and tells the others to just hurry up and grab the chalice. And they can't though, even though there's a glass case covering it with 4 handles, they can't move it. And so
Yeah.
Dot, because she's the brains, remember,
Yep.
she says,
Yep.
forget them, we have to do it together. And so he listens. He listens and goes and grabs the glass case. But this is so weird. It's when they touch the handles, the glass case just like evaporates and explodes.
Yeah.
And it sends all of them flying backwards, which I feel is like really convenient for the user right now.
Yeah. They almost get it.
Yeah.
But apparently touching it isn't enough. You must lift it above your head.
Yeah.
Because
Well,
the warrior of the user, he does touch it, but Bob like punches him out of the way.
Yeah. He elbows him in the
And-
face.
Yeah.
And it
And
goes flying.
the Stanley Cup goes flying in the air, and Mike the TV like jumps and catches it and raises it above his head.
Just like a Stanley Cup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
That's
then
how
he
you
even
win.
kisses
and he
it.
kisses it just like the Stanley Cup, and the game
The
goes
game
away.
ends immediately.
And it's a plunger.
Yep.
Yeah, he's holding a plunger above his head,
Yeah.
and they're
Maybe
in
they don't
Bob's
like
apartment.
hockey either.
Maybe they don't like hockey either.
Yeah.
But there's a plunger, which means that they do use toilets, and they do get clogged. And as we discovered in an Enzo with a certain dog, Frisket, people do poop in this world.
Everybody
Oh,
poops.
Unfortunately.
hold on.
Yeah.
I'm paused at 2134. He's holding the plunger above his head. There's something written on the plunger.
Oh, there is. Enhance.
Al's pit stain.
Enhance.
Pit stop.
Al's-
Al's pit stop.
Oh.
Al's pit stop. That's where. So it's like he sells plungers at a convenience store or something.
Huh.
Huh?
So-
Where are you seeing this?
It's
It's,
written on the rubber part of the plunger.
Yeah.
That
It's-
at 2132, Mike the
Yeah.
TV's holding a plunger above his head, like imitating like a crowd cheering. Like
Yeah. I'm looking at this and I can't see it on this slide.
It's on like the rubber.
Yeah, on the rubber part of the plunger.
Did you try enhancing?
It's sideways, so you got to tilt your head. But there's writing on that.
You have
plunger.
to say enhance.
Enhance. Hang on.
Maybe
Oh,
Aiden
come
has
on.
a different cut of the episode.
Yeah.
Maybe he has a different cut of the episode.
It is right after the game goes away. You can just pause, and you see the plunger. You'll see it.
Yeah. But while Aiden's doing that, the camera zooms.
Yeah, I see it. Holy crap.
The camera zooms
See,
out.
I'm
And,
already past that part in the episode, and I'm not even bothering to go back because I'm like,
Yeah,
well, I trust you guys.
Yeah.
yeah, I can see it too. Don't worry. And the camera does this really cool zoom through mainframe.
To Dot's
Like-
Diner.
Yeah, all the way to Dot's Diner. So there's
Didn't
a
realize-
scene transition.
Yeah, they actually have
So
an
far away
actual
from us.
layout, an actual like design where everything is in mainframe, which is really cool.
I
Yeah.
like that. Yeah. So there's like permanence to everything, continuity.
I think there was a fan I saw on the subreddit, the ReBoot subreddit, trying to recreate mainframe.
Lego?
No, with computer rendering.
I saw
Oh.
someone doing
Oh.
that in Minecraft years
Yeah.
and years ago.
That's
But
cool.
yeah,
Oh,
I mean
that's
they're
dope,
trying
yeah.
to do it based solely on references from the show, and they're trying to reach out to any of the creators, see if they have
Huh.
any way to. That way you can like boot up and basically explore mainframe.
That's
yourself.
pretty cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
Jump on a zip
Yeah.
board.
Yeah.
Zoom
I don't know.
around.
I don't know how far along they are, but because it's just I think it's just one person trying to do this, but
Good for
it's
him.
pretty cool.
Yeah. So we
Sweet.
are at the diner.
Yeah, we're at
the
Dot's
gang is all
Diner.
there.
Yeah,
I'm
they're
trying
all
to give
there.
an awkward apology.
It is awkward.
Yeah, and Dot's basically all like, so you see, kids, the moral of this whole episode was
Yeah.
that we need to work together and be friends.
We treated you like crap. So
We're sorry.
Yeah. And
I think they even say it like that.
Yeah.
We're sorry. And Mike the TV sniffles a little bit and he says, "Oh, stop, you're too kind."
yeah.
And then he turns right back into Mike the TV.
Yep.
And he jumps
And-
on the table and says, "I'd like to thank the Academy, my agent,
Yeah.
but most of all, people like you, my
He-
adoring fans."
He's doing what's
He says some Mike bullshit.
he's doing a Jimmy Stewart
Yeah,
impression.
he's doing a
as
Jimmy
well.
Stewart
yeah,
there.
right,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I'd like to thank the Academy, my agent. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. I couldn't remember the name. I was thinking like
I had to
James
quickly look it up.
Cagney in my head, but
No, it's Jimmy
yeah.
Stewart. But
I'm like, yeah, that's not right. But
Get
Yeah.
away from me, kid. You bother me.
yeah, that's earlier.
That W.C.
But-
Fields or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of riffing.
Lot
having
of-
fun with it.
Yeah.
So
He's really valuable in a dungeon-like adventure game.
yeah,
He's everybody's favorite appliance, Mike the TV.
yeah,
And they all yell Mike at the same time.
yeah. They've had it up to here. You're our friend, but come on,
Yeah.
on.
Give us a commercial break.
Yeah.
We'd like to live long enough to see another season, right?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
again, knocking on that fourth wall. Hey
Yeah.
guys.
yep.
And so
And
he
then-
shuts up and he goes all rigid.
Yep.
And he just cuts to like
A test screen.
like a test screen, and it has like an afro biome.
The Afro
Ur,
biome,
The
the
Ur
Ur.
biome.
It's
Yeah.
not
Ooh,
because
er.
this one has a
Ooh, er.
mustache.
Maybe it's his dad.
Oh.
Yeah, he's in costume.
Maybe it's his dad. And he's
And-
playing tic-tac-toe, but he's playing with zeros and ones.
Yeah, of course.
Yes. Test
Yeah.
card F to be specific. Specific.
Test card F
Specific.
from the BBC, I think.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
from in the 60s,
Roll
to late
credits.
90s, I believe.
That's the episode.
Boom.
Great episode.
Dun,
yeah.
dun, 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 dun.
If it weren't for Talent Night, this would be my favorite of the whole season.
Mm.
But I genuinely wanted to jump in on this one because it really is Mike the TV's episode. It's a proper
Yeah.
introduction to him because he was kind of like this little side joke in the TIFF episode, and
Yeah.
he gets to be front and center in this one. I don't think he has very much presence in subsequent stuff. I think in a few episodes, a few bits, particularly with Hexadecimal, but they know how to use him. I mentioned this earlier. I don't know if it was recorded, but he really tiptoes that line between annoying and really funny. It's that perfect balance, and it all depends on how old you are and how much you can put up with him.
Yes.
He's annoying, but because the other characters know he's annoying, it's tolerable because they do constantly call him out, so it's a gag instead of just annoying.
Exactly.
Yeah,
And-
like the humor is not in that he's annoying us, it's that he's annoying the characters on the show.
Yes.
So I actually don't find him that annoying.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah, I don't either.
he's funny, but he's best in a side role in that comic relief aspect, which is what they use him for, thankfully. And you know, because I don't
It's
know
a
if
good
I could
supporting
stomach.
character.
Yeah, I don't know if I could stomach another full Mike the TV episode. It depends on what they did with
Yeah.
him, because I think
Yeah,
they really played him through this whole episode, and they had his arc, so to speak. This is how he fits in with the group dynamic.
It was a great. Yeah. Sorry, go on.
And that, and I'm a huge fan of D&D. Like, to have
Yeah.
this game be the way it is, it's like, oh, I should use that in my game. I should use that. Like, next time I run a game, I'm going to have a scullipede that breathes
Oh,
fire
absolutely. And
show up.
you should also do an homage where there's a beholder, but it's just one big eye instead of a meatball with many.
Yeah, exactly. So it's all these little
How about carrot
things adding up.
warriors?
Yeah, sure.
Should you
Sure.
just rip the entire
I should just rip
episode
the
and see if
entire
anyone knows?
episode. Not my players, but if I write up the module, I'll share it with you guys
Actually, yeah.
for sure.
That'd be fun. That'd be great.
Mike the TV spinoff confirmed.
Awesome.
Canceled in the middle of the first episode.
Well,
Yeah,
you know what would be
canceled
funny if
before
you
they
had
even finish animating the first episode.
if you had an NPC that was like a big lumbering barbarian, but like he always wanted to be a bard. That
Yeah.
would be kind of funny, actually.
A high charisma warrior, fighter type. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, but we also talked about this earlier. How it all depends on your perspective. Because when you're 10, Mike the TV is fucking hilarious. You can never get enough of him.
Yeah.
But then you're older and you side with Bob. You're like, oh, this guy, man. Like, I get where you're coming from. You want to turn him off. He's funny, yeah, but imagine living with it all the time.
Yeah,
no
you
wonder
throw
he
him
threw
out,
him
but
out.
he just comes back.
Yeah, exactly. So you get it from you understand where they're coming from, but again, he's still endearing to you.
Yeah.
in that fun way.
I would
But,
room me up with Mike the TV.
Yeah, me too, for sure. I'd just be like, can you lower the volume by about 50%, please?
I'd be good.
Yeah.
All right, so that has been the 9th episode of Reboot. Cal,
Yeah.
do you have any final thoughts?
I feel like Glitch was underutilized there, but I mean, he's only as good as the person using him is. So that's probably the case for most episodes.
And so what you're saying is Bob ain't that good.
Oh, I would never. Not me. He seemed so capable in the tear.
Yeah. It's just gone downhill from here.
Kind
from
of.
there.
He is
Aiden,
brave.
the Snidler. Any final thoughts about the episode?
Oh wow! Well, this is definitely one of my favorite episodes. It's aside from the pirate episode, Crimson Bino.
Captain
Yeah,
Hook.
I'd have to agree with Cal. I think Glitch was underutilized, but then again, I think there wouldn't have been much of a story if he was properly utilized. But no, as action, adventure, comedy. It was
everything.
it was a great introduction to Mike the TV. From there, you kind of know what he's. I'm gonna agree with Alakar. You really know what kind of character this is. He was kind of one of those reluctant characters, but we had to work him in somehow. Say, here's who he is. He's a great guy when you absolutely need him, but he's friggin' annoying to all the characters.
And I'm gonna agree with Alucard as well when he's like, you know what? One episode is enough. We don't necessarily need another Mike the TV episode, but this one's really good.
Yeah. And also, I have yet to play Dungeons. Never done it, but I would like to. And this is actually, kind of a cool call to.
Gosh, I'm just gonna have to
D&D.
make a one-shot adventure for you guys. And
All right.
I was going to
Dibs on
say,
being
it
the
sounds like
elf.
you have a D&D group, the makings of a D&D group
I
in
do.
this podcast.
Yeah, who's gonna be the elf?
I'll be the elf.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll give you clown arrows. You'll be all set.
Nice.
A lot of hilarious BS&P also in
Yes.
this episode. Like just
If you guys,
there's so much to do. Yeah.
if
go
you
on.
guys want a podcast about it, I will be happy to produce and host it. But
Eh?
very little beyond that.
Okay.
Oh, you're gonna play. God damn it.
Oh.
Alucard,
Yes.
our special guest. Final thoughts on the episode.
Well, I've gone over a lot of it previously, but ultimately this episode it's really well paced. It doesn't overstay on any of its gags or jokes. Mike, he has the arc, the character arc, and everyone else goes along with him, and it's, as we kept mentioning, the lighting, the animation, they're really trying stuff with this. It's really impressive, and it's only season 1. Like, you can tell that they're just flexing, really trying to get into it because they want another season. They want to keep making more, and they, with a game like that, they could be creative and do these little vignettes with different levels, and it's very impressive overall. And I do very much recommend checking out the interview with Michael Donovan, the voice actor for Mike the TV. He voices Fong, Cecil, and Al from Al's Diner, as well as the dungeon face in this episode, the gargoyle face. And he talks about this episode as well as producing the show and things like that, and how he had to take the first voice actor for Enzo out to lunch, and he basically realized that this Enzo was being let go because he was done recording for his episodes, because
Yeah.
they weren't. That's how the seasons work. You gotta, and the kid doing the voice was so excited about doing the work and everything else, and he didn't have the heart to tell this kid that's like, no, you're done, buddy. Like, you're not coming back. And
Oh,
I actually looked that guy up recently. Dude still works.
oh yeah,
Like,
He
he's
does
had a pretty
tons of work.
consistent acting career, like right up to
Absolutely.
this year. I was
He
like,
is a
wow.
seasoned voice actor for sure.
Not even
Very
just
talented.
not even just voice work, like
Yeah.
like lots of live action work, all the way through the 90s, 2000s, 2010s. Yeah. All right. Like I said, that has been episode 9 of Reboot. Best way to support the show is, if you're listening to this on Apple Podcasts or iTunes, give us a 5-star rating, write a review. Really helps us out with discoverability. If you like this show, tell your friends, get them listening. If you enjoy the format and you like me and Cal, we also have another show where we basically do this, but we talk about Beast Wars, another mainframe entertainment series from the mid-90s called Too Much Energon. Check that out. Visit our website, www.alphanumericpodcast.ca, where you can find all of the episodes of this podcast, social media links to our Facebook page, contact info to send us an email, yada, yada, yada. We will be back next week with the 10th episode of Reboot, The Great Brain Robbery.
Ooh, good one.
Yeah, it's an episode I'm excited for because it introduces a character that was previously referenced on an episode from a couple of weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Another wonderful character.
Oh, yes.
And I'm gonna thank Alucard for
Yeah, man. Thanks for being on the
Yeah.
show, and thanks for listening. We appreciate the support. It's been fun. I'm sure we'll definitely have you on the show again at some time.
For sure.
I look forward to it. Thanks,
Yeah.
guys.
All right.
And on that note, dun dun.
Nick,
Good, everybody. I am AP Snidler.
I'm NeoCal.
I am Christopher Siege.
And I'm Alucard.
Well, blow me down.
ReBoot will return after these messages.
I'd like to thank the Academy, my gent, and most of all you, my adoring
Yeah,
fans.
that was nice.
I can't follow that, so I'm just gonna tap dance my way out of here.
Alphanumeric.